Pasteco, let me get the camera right here. Buiti Binafi, how's everyone doing? Today I have the pleasure of conversing with the brother from Nicaragua. He's about to come on shortly. I know it's a very impromptu Mabiga, but I've been trying to get in contact with him for quite some time, and I look forward to having this discussion with him about his experience in Orinoco and Bluefields. Hey, Judy. Kev. What up, player? I see you, Kev. What's going on? Eric Lopez, Buiti Binafi, Mabriga Hong Sungube. Hey, Mercy. Como ça va? I have to, Mercy, I know you're fluent in French. I have to say hello to my family from Cameroon. Of course, 38% of Garinago, the DNA. We've been doing the Ancestry.com and the 23andMe, and Cameroon is a prominent. Our DNA could be traced to the Cameroon. I mean, a whole bunch of people from Cameroon are in America. Condoleezza Rice, Ronald McNair, Eddie Murphy, Blair Underwood. Most Garinago, the DNA is coming up. Cameroon just pops up at least 38%, some as high as 39%. But yeah, family, we're gonna talk today with Vernon Ramos. I do understand that he has a cultural group in Nicaragua, and I want him to talk to us about that as well. Luz, idayage, gunda tinanehi ya. Selvin, you think I don't know? I'm trying to brush up my Garifuna every chance I get, man. So if you guys see me at any event, please talk to me in Garifuna. Don't talk to me in English. Don't talk to me in Spanish. Talk to me in Garifuna. I'm willing to learn. I mean, I just got the dictionary right here. I've been reviewing it. I plan to. I've been reviewing the dictionary. I've been studying it. Thank you to Brother Ruben Reyes for creating this dictionary. But I just love embracing the culture. I mean, the language is really fascinating to me. I mean, the breakdown that Brother Ruben gave me about it being a combination of Arawak and Kalina, and the numbers Aba Biama Urua is a combination of Kalina and Arawak. Two of the three are Arawak because we were raised by our mothers. So our mothers were Arawak and the men were Kalina. So that's just, I'm just blown away by the information. Every day I'm learning something new about the culture. So let me add Brother Vernon now. Look at me about look at me no me no motivo. Ronnie, we gotta talk. Lute wa dume how you been. What the buiti na sandio gonongwa luz. Akio Pasteco, Steven Pasteco. Steven, we gotta build. I like the pictures that you took. I mean, we have to have a conversation sometime. I know I missed you at the Garifuna Film Festival, but I should be back here in LA in November again. What it do, player? Lilian Palacios, Buiti Binafi, Ida Hinyagi. Gotta add that EN in there. Ida Hinyagi. It was a pleasure to see Josh Arana talk and speak about the informalness of the term that we greet ourselves, according to Brother Josh Arana. He was like, Hinyagi, how are you doing? Because it's more personal as opposed to Buiti Binafi or Buenos Dias, which is the European. This is the divide of the European into our language. So informal and so well. That's pretty interesting. Bruce, I see the work that you've been putting in, Bruce. Thank you. I think you was in Sandy Bay and you passed by Chateauguay National Park. I didn't know that the government of St. Vincent was creating a national park. Luhatia Mari Hinabu Hinaru Kibati Kate Lu Nafasa Nani Lige Mafudu Nuboy Bowdi Pero Heyuban or way we're gonna see each other. I'm trying to see we're gonna see each other. Way this is Garifuna language is very complex. Some words you gotta like accentuate it. I know to see is to say way hub. We're gonna to see each other is gonna be way hub. Let me look that up. Just bear with me 1 second. I want to get the proper pronunciation down. I'm scrolling through the trilingual dictionary. According to the trilingual dictionary, to see is arija. Arija. But I want to say to see each other. I gotta get that pronunciation down. Wariyaguba. Yes, that's the word I was looking for. Sereme. Need to lose. Sereme. Wariha guba. Wongo. Niyago amunugu. Niyago amunago. Woo! Man, my tongue is doing some gymnastics right now. Elbow. Idayage, Alejandra, Idayage. Zoraida Bernades, Idayage, Saraba. Brother, you gotta inbox me. Let me know if today is a good day for us to catch up while I'm here. Bibi, Idayage. Jacob Frederick, Mabriga, Idayage. Esli Guiti, Idayage. Okay, Vernon, I'm trying to add you. You just gotta accept. You should get a message that you're getting a and this is why I need to find. This is why I created my website, because I want to do my live straight from the website, and I hate when I get these messages, so I'm gonna try to re-add. Robertino Guiti. Hey, cuz I'm in LA right now. I'm in Torrance. I think you're close to San Diego. Is there any way that we could meet up? Cuz I've been following you. I have some questions. I know you're an alpha. I know you're an alpha kappa. I want to have a conversation about that. I'm about to inbox you. Let me know um, when is a good time to meet up. But yeah, I'm trying to. Vernon, it's saying that when I try to add the conversation, it's saying declined. Hey, system effort. Idayage buiti binafi. Yeah, I want to know about Nicaragua too, Ashley. I mean, I was at the consulate in Washington, D.C. about 7 years ago, and the consulate, the actual consulate, his last name was Campbell. He told me that Andy Palacios spent a lot of time in Nicaragua, in Orinoco and Bluefields, teaching the language because Andy was a teacher back then. So, Brother Vernon, the it's declining. When I try to add you, it's saying that you've declined my request. Sometimes these video conferences don't work, but we're gonna keep on trying. Vernon Ramos, can you hear me, brother?
Yeah, yeah. Get me?
Okay. Yeah, yes, I can hear you now. But your it seems like your signal is kind of weak and because you're like
Yeah.
stopping and going, but we're gonna make it work. We're gonna make it work.
Okay.
So let's start from the beginning. I understand that according to the books, because we have several books that point to how the Orinoco community was established in Nicaragua. And Juan
Yeah.
Sambula, that we call in Honduras, he became Juan Sambola in Nicaragua. And he was the person that established that community. Can you give us more information?
Yes. Yeah. John Sambola. John Sambola.
Oh,
John.
John Sambola. Okay, Juan
Yeah,
is
John
equivalent
Sambola.
to John. Right.
Yeah, John. It's John Sambola.
Okay.
John Sambola came here with his brother in the 18 in the 18 looking for jobs because
Okay.
during those times there was a lot of job on the Mosquitia in those times. Yeah, the
Okay.
Mosquitia to the day knowing of the Caribbean coast of Nicaragua. So you
Right.
have a different, you have a lot of company from the US and around the world that was established in the Caribbean coast of Nicaragua. So these Garifuna men, including John Sambola, they came to first they came to the Great Canal, what they was planning to us to build in the south part of Nicaragua, what we call Rio San Juan, between Nicaragua and Costa Rica. So many of those men came to Nicaragua. This in the Caribbean coast was Mosquito in those times, looking for a job. And when they see them can't get no out of that because the project of the canal was cancelled, they came up to Bluefield. So when they came up to Bluefields, they talked to the king. Because remember we had king in those days, the El Rey de la Mosquitia, or El Rey Mosco, what we call it. Asking them permission was to establish in the Pearl Lagoon Basin. So first they went to one town what you call Scrape Point or San Vicente, San Vicente. And there in San Vicente you have a banana factory uh, where they used to bring out banana for way in the back of Brahma. Brahma is a next adjustment at the Caribbean coast. So in San Vicente, you have one train what used to bring out all the banana to St. Vincent, you know. So in those times, you have a lot of Garifuna people that was establishing or staying in that local community in those times. In those times, there was a little city, a small little town with train and shop and little of every little things. Idea was to move over to Ways Orinoco to the day because he he had
Okay.
in problem with one of his brother. He had in problem with one of his brothers. So how John Sambola was a peaceful man, he decided to go by this. by this his friend went to the days Orinoco, asking him to give him a piece of land where he could go and put a house, where he could plant, where he could live with his family. So his friend told him to, okay, you are welcome, John. Come, you take the amount of land where you want. You bring your family. You live here. You don't have to pay me nothing. The land is yours. John Sambola asked him for a legal paper. But he said, you don't need no legal paper for you because I don't give you that permission and that authorization to live here whenever you want with your family. And that's happened in 1912, according to history. So from that day, John Sambola, he had his children them, because he had children before. He had children before. Then he come to Orinoco, and according to history, the first baby born in Orinoco was Nora Estrada. That's my grandmother that died. Nora Estrada Sambola. That was the first baby child born in Orinoco, according to history. And she have next brother, next sister that come after her. In total, John Sambola had about nine.
Yeah, Ashley, I think you're right. They are on 3G.
Yeah. So how John Sambola was a boy, he was a good bush doctor. He was a good knowing of traditional medicine. He was a boy. He also a man that believed in God, a peaceful man. A lot of people used to go to Orinoco asking him for help. Even many Orinoco go to the day because how he was a good man, Garifuna people looking to live better amongst Garifuna people. So all those communities that was found before Orinoco, like Lafe, like Brombank, like Madugu, like St. Vincent, they formally come into Orinoco. And that is why to the day Orinoco is so populated because you have Garifuna people that come in from all around looking where to live and in a peaceful land, you know. So as I was saying before, John Sambola was a good bush doctor. So you have people from all the different communities, people from the city, people from different countries looking for a good health, for, for health, for heal. So John Sambola, the knowledge, ancestral knowledge, what he had, he secured a lot of people. And he have the knowledge of medicine, traditional medicine, where no occidental knowledge of curing could have helped those people but John Sambola. So John Sambola knowledge split amongst his children. Nobody to the day had take get that gift from John Sambola. Some people are good at spiritual affair. Some people are good in what we call taking care of children birth. People good in certain medicine. You have people good in different area. So John Sambola knowledge share between all his grandchildren and his children.
Okay, Vernon, I gotta stop you there because you said a lot. In
Yeah.
the time that you started talking, you said a lot of things that I wasn't aware of. I didn't know that the Mosquito Coast was an
Mos-
actual kingdom.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it
Mosquitia.
was an actual
So
kingdom.
from
Yeah.
there, there's
Mesquite.
the people that live there are called the Mosquito Indians.
Yeah, Miskito.
Okay, the Mosquito.
Miskito. Rey,
So
Rey Mosco
were
then
because
call him.
there's a lot of things with that name. Because the Mosquitoes, how did they arrive? Are they the indigenous people of Nicaragua? The Mosquito, do they have their own language and culture, or was it like the Garifuna? Was it a
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
blend of different cultures that came together?
Yeah,
Because I
yeah,
know the British stayed there for a while in that part of Central America.
yeah. The Miskito is an ethnic group of the Caribbean coast. Actually, it's the biggest ethnic group on the Caribbean coast. Tradition. group. When you're referring to ethnic group or indigenous group, that's the biggest indigenous group on the Caribbean coast of Nicaragua. Um, today them say the
Do they have
Miskito
their
mix
own
with black.
language though?
Yeah, they have their home
They mix with
language.
black. Do they have
They
their
have
own
their
language?
own, yes, yes, their own ancestral language. They have their own tradition, and they have everything. Um, the Miskito group also is mixed with black descendants because during the involvement with the Rey Moscow with the British, they have been bringing slaves to on the Atlantic coast of Nicaragua, and many of these slaves then came first by in the north part of Nicaragua, in Nicaragua, Gracia de Dios, up to Honduras. Many of these slaves them was mixed up with the indigenous Miskito, and that's why you have different color of Miskito people on the Caribbean coast of Nicaragua. Many of them are black with straight hair, and the traditionally Miskito. You understand? And you have a next Miskito where they are it's dead Indian Miskito. So the Miskito group is also a mixed group on the Caribbean coast of Nicaragua.
So how has the relationship been between the Garifuna and the Miskito? Going back to
Well,
Juan Sambo last time. Were they socially
okay,
accepted or
okay,
it
okay.
took a while? Oh,
Yeah, okay, okay. When Zambula or Garifuna man came from Honduras or Belize, and they come alone, no woman, no woman, because John Sambola wife, he was a wild Indian, what we call from the Kukra,
a white Indian.
the Kukra, wild Indians. That's what our ancestors tell us, you know. So John Sambola catch catch this wild woman in the bush and tame her, tame her, tame her, you know, and make this woman his wife. And that is where so all our tradition come from also. Or genetical blood that we have it Indians. Indian from the Caribbean coast of Nicaragua, what we call a Kukra. To the day the Kukra Indian not exists because the mosquitoes sweep out all of them, kill out all of the Kukra group, Kukra ethnic group. So John Sambola take this wild woman and turn it into his wife. And from there, many of his descendants have that Indianness into them to the Kukra group. Okay, the mosquito from the beginning, the mosquito, John Sambola have some kind of a relationship with them because through trade, through trade and certain community interests, John Sambola had some kind of a links with them. Well, today the mosquito and us, we are getting most in good relationship. You know, we get more relationship because through the same declaration of OIT, the OIT, yeah. Today we're trying for links more better, trying to have a better relationship because if we join as Caribbean coast of Nicaragua, we are more stronger to inform any difficulty from the national government.
Well, that leads me into my second question.
Yeah,
So Nicaragua, is it a communist country or a socialist country?
yeah. Sorry?
Is Nicaragua a communist or a socialist country?
Socialist.
It's a socialist
We are a
country.
socialist
So
country.
you
Yeah.
guys get free education, free medical services. Because I'm thinking about when you say socialist, I visited Cuba, and Cuba, everything is furnished for its citizens, like education, the health
Mm.
system, housing, all that's provided for the government. Is that the same way it is in Nicaragua?
It's not. No, no, no. It's different. Here we are more. have more freedom to develop our own community development. You know, we are not like Cuba. You know, although the government says we are socialist country, but we also have some kind of a capitalism into us, because if you have money, you can open your business, and you are free to develop your business. Also, you could do any transaction with anybody internationally, you know, but everything has to go under the law of the country. Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Um, we're currently going through a renaissance, um, communal wise, right? And we're just analyzing things from a real different, from a real critical perspective now. One of the questions that one of the persons that have on this live now is, why was the language lost in Nicaragua, in Orinoco? Like, what were some of the reasons why the language were lost, in your opinion?
Um, our parents and mothers used to talk to for example, my grandmother don't used to talk to my mama, my auntie, and many others, many of them, because they used to um they used to feel discriminated by others. For example, by the Creole, especially what we call the Creole group. You understand? So whenever they used to come to the city, to the bigger town, they used to call them Caribs. You know, Caribs, and you Carib dry hair, you Carib big lip, you Carib this, you catfish eater, and there are a lot of adjusted name what they used to give to our and to our older set of people. So for
I
them
mean, it's not
children
funny,
not to
but
pass,
I'm
yeah,
Vernon. One of the reasons I'm laughing is because that's the same dynamic that happened in Belize.
yeah, for their children not to pass through that same experience, they teach them children how to talk Creole. You know, that's how we talk Creole, because we adapt somebody else's language to survive amongst them. So, and that is
Right.
why many prefer not to say they was Garifuna, for not be discriminated by others. So when they come to the city, them act normally like any others black people in the city, you know, and that is where our language going lost in. It does maybe few family in what we call Point, Husto Point. It's an ex-Garifuna community where those parents used to, yes, they used to talk to their children. So all who born growing Husto Point, them talk Garifuna. You know? But with the time, the history repeat again, they don't teach them children to talk Garifuna. That's how the language have been lost in. You know? So only the older folks, when they used to meet between themselves, you hear them talking Garifuna. You understand? And if you was a very curious child at those times, you would ask, and what this mean? And how you say this in Garifuna? And how this? Then they would tell you. But just so alone by themselves, they will tell you no word in Garifuna. You know, they won't tell you no. That is our problem that we had in the past. But thanks of this government, what we have, what they name Sandinista government, them is who rescue the Garifuna culture back to the in the 80s. Um, in the 80s, but before the 80s, Garifuna people in Nicaragua wasn't being known by nobody. We wasn't exist in the constitution. We wasn't exist in the constitution. We wasn't known in the country as a ethnic group since the 80s. In the 80s, during the alphabetization, you heard that word before?
Say that again.
Alphabetization.
Yeah, that's to like teach people
alfabetización.
how to read and write. That's how to teach. That's to teach people
Yeah,
how to read and write.
yeah, correct, correct. So during the 80s, the government developed a national plan, also in the Caribbean coast, that all who can read and write, you have you have teachers, you have professional and doctors that go into the community, go into the neighborhood and teach people to read and write. So, so you have so international volunteers that also came from Nicaragua, from Belize. And into that you have this famous songster named Watina. How you name? What's in the song Watina? From Belize. I feel like he's from Dangriga. Famous Belizean songster
Um,
man.
there's a Watina by Andy
Let me
Palacio. There's a
Andy
Watina by Andy
Palacio.
Palacio.
Yeah, Andy Palacio. So Andy Palacio
Okay.
come to Nicaragua also during that time to participate into this alphabetization. So when he went to one small community that named La Fe, but when he came to this community, he said, but these people didn't look like me. He started to identify certain elements that bring curiosity to him. So he said to one of the old man who was there, he said, boy, binap. He said, ida binya. So this old man, and the man respond to him. So him say, wow. So he's surprised. Well, he just hug this old man and say, well, what? He said, this is a surprise for me. It's because I didn't know before that Garifuna people was here in Nicaragua also. So he began to investigate. He began to talk to people. So when he went back, when he went back to the city, he tell the government, but there is some people on the Atlantic coast of Nicaragua named Garifuna also. So from that day, the government began to put interest in our culture. So I remember I was a kid, and in the 80s somethings, they bring a group from Honduras. They brought a group from Honduras to the Palo de Mayo in Bluefield in Maple celebration. So this group then they came to Orinoco and to exchange culture with with our people during those times, and that is where like the you get the thing more interesting, you know. I remember this
Okay.
with this dancing group from Honduras. Some old set of people went to Orinoco and touched drums, and the old people then start dance, and everybody gets surprised because they say, "Oh, how is possible that we didn't know that Garifuna people is here in Nicaragua?" And then our home people say, "What? This is an opportunity to us to meet our family from Honduras." I was something very amazing. So the government began to implement a small program that all the elders them that know the language invite them to the school once or twice a week, you know, and start
Mm-hmm.
pronouncing words to the student them that they go and writing down. You say good morning, boiti binafi, good evening, boiti rabaweyo, good night, boiti gunyong, so far. So from that day, that interesting, that interest into developing cultural rescue programs start from there to the day. So from there you have the UNESCO come in, sponsor our revitalizing program. Before that, you have the Hurricane University help us for many years in the se llama in Spanish name Programa de Rescate Cultural Garifuna that was directed by the Huracan University, financed by one ONG from Norway. And from there, we start doing things on our own, looking help here and there. And well, there's a lot of things to talk. Lot of things. Well, we have our organization today, what name Organic. Um, um, Association Afro Garifuna of Nicaragua. We have through that same effort from the beginning. Yeah. So Andy Palacio, he opened the door for us. He opened the door for us. That the world get to know that we are exist in Nicaragua.
What year did
So today
UNESCO
day in
come
our
to?
school,
Yeah, what year did UNESCO come to
UNESCO,
UNESCO? What year did they come?
the UNESCO. Okay. That is 2000. I feel like it's from the 2000, 2001, 2, 3, 4. It's a program. It's a financial by the Spain government.
Okay.
It's a financial from the Spain government for the whole Caribbean coast of Nicaragua. Yeah,
Right.
to revitalize the culture of the Caribbean coast of Nicaragua, and we was included into that. You have the Garifuna, you have the Miskito, you got the Ulua, you have the Mayagna, and you have the Rama group. But 5 group what was benefited by this project to revitalize the culture and the Caribbean coast of Nicaragua. So I also participate in doing some investigation around the Garifuna culture. It was by team. It was 5 of us from the Garifuna communities. You have 5 from the Creole group, 5 from the Mosquito, 5 for the Olua, 5 for the Rama. So we also have a material of that investigation for UNESCO.
What's the population of the
So today
Garifuna
they
community? You said that there were 5 communities. What's the
yeah.
population and what are their names?
Okay. We have approximately today it's estimation we are about more than 6,000 Garifuna people living in Nicaragua. The majority
6,000. Okay.
are Garifuna, yeah, about approximately 6,000. Yeah. So we have the biggest Garifuna
Okay.
community in Orinoco. Orinoco have about maybe 2,500 approximately people in biggest population, people looking for job, for opportunity, for study. So that is why in Bluefield you have much Garifuna than any other city in Nicaragua and the Caribbean coast of Nicaragua. Garifuna people lives in Lafe, in Brown Bank, Lafe, San Vicente, Orinoco, and Marshall Point, and Justo Point. Yeah, those are the Garifuna community in Nicaragua. Well, Bluefield now,
And they around the
as
Pearl Lagoon.
yeah, around the Pearl Lagoon Basin, correctly, around the Pearl Lagoon Basin. Yeah.
So
So,
there's gonna
I was
be a major project. Vernon, there's gonna be a major
yeah,
project going through the Pearl Lagoon, which is gonna be the competition to the Panama Canal. Is that project gonna
yeah,
happen? Because I know the Garifuna communities are in that area where the canal is gonna come from uh, the Atlantic Sea, and it's gonna go through
yeah,
Nicaragua and come out the Pacific
yeah.
Sea.
But
And I know they're gonna use Pearl
yeah, but we
Lagoon as yeah. Go ahead.
yeah. That's it's quietly they don't know yet where that canal going to be, but it's more sure the south part of Bluefield. You know, Pearl Lagoon is the north part of Blue, so it don't going to affect us. That project don't going to affect us. It's affecting the south part of Bluefield. Yeah,
Okay. Does
got me?
the government sponsor like a cultural exchange program with Belize or Honduras or Guatemala to reach teach the culture?
Sorry,
Does the
can you
government, the
repeat, please?
Nicaraguan government, yeah, does the
Uh-huh.
Nicaraguan government sponsor a program that sends um cultural activists like yourself to learn the language and the culture? in the other Central American countries like Honduras, Guatemala, or Belize?
Many years ago, we had some pasantías. Yeah, you have students. You have one group of students that went to Honduras for twice, for 2 times, and this student was in some Garifuna community in Honduras. They was living about 2 to 3 months in Honduras learning the language, and then came back.
Mm-hmm.
They went again and come back, but the program didn't continue. And this was also help from the government, you know. Also we have people that, like, for example, Popo Ariola. I don't know if you hear about him or you remember him. Also,
He's
during
my
the
relative.
90s, he said,
Wait,
"Oh,
wait, hold
okay,
on a
okay,
second. Did you say because the Ariolas, Longino Ariola, there was three siblings that arrived to Honduras that survived the
mm,
exile, and their last name was Ariola. I know one of
yeah,
them is Juan, and there was a brother and a sister. So they arrived to Trujillo and they survived the banishment. So they
yeah,
settled in the area between Santa Fe and Cristales in Trujillo, and then they made their way over to Aguan, where I'm from. So the Ariolas,
yeah,
the name change must have happened when we got to Honduras. And I'm like, next time I go to Honduras, I want to go to the capital and see who registered my community because that information should be at the capital in Tegucigalpa. But
yeah,
Longino Ariola, he was like a rich, they used to call it bootlegging, but he made his way down to
yeah,
Nicaragua. So for you to tell me that there's still an Ariola there, like that's a descendant of my family. Can you
yeah.
repeat his name
No,
again?
this Popo,
Is he on Facebook?
Popo,
Pourquoi?
no,
He's not on Facebook.
Popo
Can
Ariola.
you get
We invite him. Popo
okay?
Ariola.
Can
I know
you
him.
get me in
I
contact with him?
Popo. No, I don't have the contact, but I could get some more information about him. Yeah,
Okay.
because everybody have been asking about Popo Ariola. So maybe you know Kensi Sambola,
Kenzie Sambola,
Kensi
there
Sambola.
was a sister that mentioned her, and I know she's the
Yeah,
president of Organic. It's called
she
Organic,
was the
right? The
president for
organization
Organic.
in
Yeah,
okay,
Organic. Yeah, she was the president for Organic. Actually, she's
right?
consular. She's a regional consular representing the
Okay,
Garifuna people in the regional parliament. So
okay,
Kensi could give you more information about Pope Ariola. So um,
okay,
Organic, to the help of the Huracan University, we brought Popo into Nicaragua, to Orinoco, to teach the children them to sing and to dance, teach them music, to sing and dance. So Popo do a good job here in Nicaragua, where me myself learned to sing and dance. Yeah, Popo
okay.
was my teacher also. There is where I learn how to sing, dance, and music. Uh, so from the help of Popo, many of us know a lot about drumming, singing, dancing. We also develop the language and things like that. So after Popo, you have one next lady from Belize. Her name is Tia Linda. Tia Linda. I don't
What's her
remember
name
her
again?
surname. Tia Linda. We call her Tia
Yalinda,
Linda. She's a Tia
Galinda.
Linda from Dangriga.
Okay,
Tia Linda, we call her. I don't remember. Yeah.
okay,
So Tia Linda was also in Orinoco teaching the language in the school. She was there for many months teaching the language. She was one that also um, came to Nicaragua to support the revitalization in the language and things like that. Also, we have some next teachers that come from some short of time also helping us. Well, today in the school, we have teacher Vicky, Victorina Sambola, Victorina Lopez Sambola. She actually is the Garifuna teacher in the primary school in Orinoco. She also went to the Pasantia
Mm.
with those students them for months living in Honduras. So she came back prepared. She taught very good Garifunas. So that knowledge, that experience that she gained in Honduras, she actually sharing it in the school with the student them from the first level, from preschooler to I believe third grade. They learning the language in Orinoco. So those children that went to Honduras to the day they still yet
Mm-hmm.
remember what they learned in Honduras. Yeah. So you
Okay.
that's the new generation who continue supporting because this person help a lot to rescue back the language in Nicaragua. Because the older one them learn maybe one or two words and that's it. But the children them their brains are so fresh to learn any things right now. Yeah. Go
There
ahead.
was I think it was about a year ago. There was like some uprisings in Nicaragua, I believe in Managua and different parts of the country. Did that have an effect on the Garifuna community or the other indigenous communities in Nicaragua? Or did anybody participate? I mean, how did it affect the indigenous communities?
Not much on the Caribbean coast of Nicaragua. Because
Okay.
as how we say we that is their problem. Because the Caribbean coast of Nicaragua always have been marginated, isolated by the government, national government. So between us and the Caribbean coast of Nicaragua, you have some small group also in the Bluefield, for example, that don't like the government. They do them small manifestation, but it's not a big group, you know, because we from the Caribbean coast of Nicaragua, we kind of be not so thankful, but we kind of appreciate the actual government to this government have been helping us a lot in development. For example, we was isolated from the Pacific because we don't have highway. Now we have pretty highway, thanks to food, the government. Yeah, we didn't have light system. Now we have light system in our communities. We are connect nationally with the national line of light electricity.
Okay.
We have phone system in our communities. We have project for the fishermen. You have project for who plant. You have the government give them grains for plant. The government give them cow, pregnant cow that they could raise hog. The government then give them zinc for house. And there is a lot of things there is a lot of things more that the government have been supporting the Caribbean coast of Nicaragua. So due of that, we don't involve in the national problem because
Okay.
we try to be
So
a
you're
part
loyal to the
of
government.
that, you know. Huh?
You're loyal to the
Well,
government. You're
not
loyal to the
said
government. You support the
yeah. Well, not everything we are so satisfied that the government have been doing, you know. But we could say we feel kind of a thankful of many things what the government have been done for us, you know, because no government is perfect. Always they always have
government.
something that is not right, you know. But the good of it, the government take in consideration the Caribbean coast of Nicaragua. During many years, the government even before didn't have us into the program in the plans, you know. And the government have a big project for the Caribbean coast of Nicaragua, you know, including the Garifuna communities. What the government
Okay. Okay.
loves so much, yeah.
So is it true that Daniel Ortega spent time in Orinoco? before he came to power back in the 80s?
Yeah, Daniel Ortega reached Orinoco with his helicopter. You know, he
Okay.
was in Orinoco. I remember because I'm an artist and I just do performance for many people, and I have the opportunity was to meet with Daniel with my group, let make him dance punta and all them things. And I remember what he told me the last time he was in Bluefield. He said, hola, he said, mi gente garifuna, he said. Ustedes son mi gente garifuna. You understand?
My
So,
people.
so yeah, so he loved a lot the Garifuna culture. You know, he loved a lot Garifuna culture. But we Garifuna people in Nicaragua, we have to join together because we have a lot of abilities. We have a lot of abilities and not working towards our culture. We, I don't know if you get to to read or understand that the Garifuna language, music and dance was declared national patrimony of Nicaragua. You know about that?
Yes, that's the
Yeah.
UNESCO
Yeah. Oh,
proclamation back in May 18th, 2001. We were celebrating
yeah.
18 years
Yeah. Yeah.
2 weeks
That is
ago.
where we get.
And that's why I asked you when the UNESCO came to Nicaragua, because I was curious
Mhm. Yeah.
to know whether it was around that same time frame that they came before they issued out the proclamation in 2001.
Yeah. Okay. After the proclamation of UNESCO, after the proclamation of UNESCO, we 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 through a project, national project, the government from the National Assembly wrote a law that said the Garifuna culture is a national patrimony of Nicaragua, where the Garifuna culture and the Guaguense are the only two culture, the two things in a cultural expression that was declared.
Okay, Brother Werner will be back. Um, there's a lot of hiccup. If I lose him, I may need to um, send him another request. But he's saying some very important things. I mean, the community, they declared it a national patrimony, he's saying, of the country. Um, Honduras doesn't didn't has um, Guatemala. I doubt it. Maybe my Esley, you could chime in on Guatemala whether the government has declared the Garifuna culture as a national patrimony of Guatemala. Um, I know in Dangriga we have an influence there politically, but I'm not sure if it's been declared a national patrimony. I'm as I keep on talking to Vernon, I'm just thinking about the different government types that embraces the Garifuna. It just seems like democracy doesn't really work for us. It's the socialist, communist platform that works for Garifuna because that's how we operate as a society. We're socialists and communists. We share all of our resources amongst ourselves. Um, the capitalist democratic system does not work for us. I mean, as we can see, nobody is leaving Nicaragua the way they're leaving from Honduras. Everything's already furnished for them. I mean, Vernon just told us what was going on in regards to how the government supports the indigenous communities. Okay, I think Vernon is trying to connect with us again. So let me. Okay. And I can't. I. Yeah, I'm not getting an option to add him. Okay, so I'm going to bring in Esley because Esley's been in Nicaragua. Could give us some more information when she visited over there. I think she was there 2 years ago. So I'm trying to add Esley right now. But if you guys have any questions, let me scroll down. Vernon, if you could call us back, that would be great. I'm gonna talk with Esley with you right now. She's been
Back. Hold on, I need to fix this. Is this right? You can see me good? Or I look upside down?
yeah.
Okay. In Guatemala,
So
you was asking about what?
you gotta lift up. Yeah, you gotta lift up the beautiful face. Okay, that's better.
Okay, in Guatemala, the Garifunas are recognized. Even in the cedula.
As a national.
Even on the in the
So we're in the Constitution.
In the cedula, they call it right, the ID. If we ask you what ethnic group you belong to, and you would say Garifuna.
Okay.
Yeah.
So which one do you put?
El 26 de noviembre está reconocido nacionalmente en Guatemala. Yes. It's even like any Garifuna that works anywhere, they get that day está reconocido como un día feriado. William Military Garina Guayabo. Guapedo Aneu, you know, Huawei, Guatemala. Donde está reconocido hasta en la Constitución de Guatemala. Y el banco, ahí entra Mospa, allá, Guatemala, Garingue, Garifuna. Hasta Tida Banco. En el Tida Escuela, Luz de Huatige, a Garifuna, como, ¿cómo se llama? Lenguaje materno. Y también al lado uno en la Mospa, Luz de Garina, al lado de and youth na ga Nicaragua. Youth na Nicaragua kamata idumu dia irumu wale. De tarea de Rubén que presidente ni Tania Ganik. Pero no ati nacido en Managua, aba wabudo aba bus like he was like a billion hours. That's how he felt like. Para la laguna de la. Huh?
It's a long way from
para Laguna de Perlas, I think that's how that town is called. And from there we took as people they call Panga para Orinoco. Yo llegué también a Orinoco. And a mí me activo Hama Giriga en Orinoco, seguramente hubo toma Ingrid Gamboa. I was supposed to stay a couple of days more, but I didn't know the travel from ¿cómo se llama la capital? From the capital, from Managua was going to be that long. I didn't know it was going to be that long from Managua to Laguna de Perla. Because if I would have known, I would have took more time from work. But I wasn't aware of the time. It was really time consuming. And, but there was more in Nicaragua. Porque todo este tiempo solo escuchamos de Orinoco. Everywhere you Garifuna towns in Nicaragua, is whether you're from Honduras or from Guatemala or from Belize, o lo que sea, lo que escuchas es de Orinoco, but there's other towns there. I wasn't able to make it to all of them, but we did have a meeting in Laguna de Perla, in which they had the same complaint that most of the help go to Orinoco, not to the other towns that Garifuna populated also. It was like about 5. It was like about 5 or 6. I don't remember exactly, but I thought it was 7. But somebody else was saying that it was 3. He said it was 5. I was told it was 6. So, and I don't know exactly how many towns is there, but it's not only Orinoco. And so, like every time everybody talks about Garifuna town in Nicaragua, solo hablan de Orinoco. But there are other towns in Nicaragua that are Garifuna populated, in which, from my understanding, the other towns, la gente ya están saliendo, going to Bluefields to look for work. You know, came memory Wageda, Honduras, Guadima, lo abala half you know, from our town to go look for job elsewhere. But
They go
That's
to Bluefields, they go to city center.
well-developed town. Yeah, because it's well-developed comparing to that. And it's Kema Bafi do Lawange, a little bit the Yabu has San Pedro, a bit the Yabu has you know. It's an itihasid of money get la say, Luhi the Yabu has Bluefields. There's something closer to like, to going to Manawa.
What does it look like? What does it look like?
How would I say? It looks a little bit like Trujillo.
Okay.
Yeah, but the most interesting thing about their like the Garifuna towns is like you have to get on a panga to get from La Fe to Orinoco, or from Laguna de Perla to Orinoco to Bluefields. You have to get on a speedboat. You do. I think from yeah, it's a lot of water, and it's not like going from Awan, the Lao Grande by Lao Pequeño. It's nothing like that. It's like really old, like it's really like
I can't swim.
no, I mean, when I went from Laguna de Perla to Orinoco, I was like, oh my God, because from Puerto Barrios to La Buga, you have to get on the speedboat on the ferry. And it's only like, in the speedboat, it's only like probably like half an hour. But it's not like, no se ve como un mar abierto. Arriba buoy allá, arriba buoy allá, arriba Banaga, you don't see nothing like once you're in the middle of to get to Orinoco.
Oh man.
But it's an awesome experience because Orinoco is untouched. When I mean like untouched, they planta, they light go off, I think at 12 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock at night. I believe the lamp, they turn it off and then they planta on back again the next day. Like back in the days. When I was in Laguna de Perla, they still got the water thing that they pump like the way they did it in Awan, like to pump the water.
Right.
And it's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's really, really beautiful. But I think it's very, very sad that the language have been lost. Because the same thing that the guy just mentioned, we go through that in Guatemala and Honduras. We get bullied because of our language. Even here in America, some kids are ashamed to speak Garifuna. In Guatemala, the kids speak mainly Spanish than Garifuna. And I'm pretty sure it's something it's like that in Honduras too. Why? Because we're being stereotyped. Exactly. They be like, oh my God, I don't know, no hables ese bulu 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 que no se te entiende. You know what I'm saying? So it's like we all go through that bullying. The thing is trying to be, who we are and stay true, true to who we are. So like when we met up with the people in Laguna de Perla, they were saying the same thing that they want to learn about the language. So when I was telling that they did the student exchange, because we found out about the student exchange because they went to Honduras to learn about Garifuna and to bring it back. And there was only one teacher in Orinoco, only one teacher in Orinoco, female teacher. Okay, we also, nosotros también hicimos un meeting con ellos ahí en Orinoco. And she's the only teacher. So, and I asked them, okay, what happened to the other communities? And she cannot go out there and teach. So we had came out with a plan that we was gonna bring some teachers to Guatemala or Honduras. Instead of the kids, have a teacher exchange program, which I feel like it would work better than sending the kids because the kids are gonna come and learn, but they cannot, relate what they learn to the other kids. But if they send teachers to Garifuna, they will keep teaching the way this lady is teaching in Garifuna over there in Orinoco. That was the plan. Yeah. That was the purpose of us going over there. To try to see how we work out, but obviously it didn't go farther than, a meeting.
You know what? Something that stood out to me was the support that the government give them. They provide a lot.
They get good support. They do get good support. And like I said, when all of that was taking place, the president of Aganic was Casey Sambola. Right now it's Gregita Sambola, the president. Now they changed them. But the last time I knew when I went out there, it was her. So I don't know if it changed from then to now.
I didn't know that Garifuna was written
En Guatemala, yes it is. Está reconocido en Oaxaca. Like I told you, like that's part of the, even when you see the report card, it was in La Buga, lengua materna is there. And you have to pass it.
So La Buga is the only Garifuna in Guatemala.
Guatemala, yes, it's only La Buga. It's only La Buga, and there's Garifunas en Puerto Varios, but de raíces es de La Buga. It's like como te digo, como en cada país, Garifuna, we get to make, emigramos a otro lugar para buscar lo que tal vez en nuestro pueblo no hay. En ese tiempo, había un tiempo donde no había universidad en Livingston. Ahora ya tener la facilidad de estudiar carreras universitarias en Livingston. Pero antes, después del básico, which is like junior high school or high school, you have to go outside of La Buga to like further your education. It's like, when the kids go away, like, to whatever other state, if ellos hacen su vida ahí. Sometimes they don't come back to New York, so it's the same thing, they don't go back to La Buga, they stay like probably in the city or Puerto Barrios or Chiquimula. But the Garifuna community in Guatemala is very small. We all practically know each other.
And there's a lot of black around here.
That's what I'm saying, it's only one town. Por ejemplo, like where we from is Izabal. Izabal is like Colón en Honduras. Que Colón está compuesto de diferentes pueblos. Okay, so nosotros somos de Livingston. Digamos que hay 5 o 6 partes en Izabal. Only La Buga is the only Garifuna one. The rest of them is dominated by Indians. So they still towns in Guatemala that you go and they still you like they still look at you like weird because they probably have not seen a black person, even though they probably be like, nah, today they speak, they parts in Guatemala where they don't even speak Spanish yet. They still speak the lenguaje de ellos. So en Guatemala sí, de ahí somos pocos. Pero but with the same token, en Guatemala sí estamos reconocidos hasta en nuestro ID, which is they call it cédula o DPI. Ahí se...
We got that in Honduras.
Oh, ya do?
Yeah, this is simple.
No. What I'm saying is like, but Garifuna is not put in your ID as your ethnicity. In Guatemala,
no.
En Guatemala, sí, en tu ID dice etnia Garifuna. Si sos quiché, etnia quiché.
Okay.
So it's part of the description of who you are. They have it in the ID for Guatemala.
What's the population of Garifuna?
I can't really tell you like the exact details, but in Abuga, it's becoming more Indian than Garifuna.
You mean Latino? Because I know there's a high-end.
Well, we call them Indios to all of them, and but like I said, hay mucho más, Latinos, if you call it like that, than Garifunas en Abuga right now as we speak. As a matter of fact, los dueños de los grandes negocios en Livingston, it's not Garifuna, it's foreigners. The hotels, the big restaurants, there's like 4 or 5 Garifuna-owned businesses en el centro y Saná. I really think it's that many. Because a lot of them ya salieron de ahí para migrar para los Estados Unidos o para otras partes de la capital para poder trabajar. So I can't really say how many people, like how many Garifunas. But it's not as much as when I was there. But I think this is a good one. I was really excited. And
yeah, I mean, I just think, but you know what, Anthony, I just think that like we have like a lot of things to sort out. I could pick us having autonomy as a community to Belize. Like that whole Caribbean side of Central America, we could do a lot of that, but in Nicaragua, who the Garifuna.
But let me tell you something. The culture, they are supportive of a lot of things for the Garifuna community, but at the end of the day, they still newborn in our culture. You understand what I'm trying to say? When I said newborn, they still adapting to a culture that we was born into since we was little. You did to a fedo. You remember that one año fedo, 24, we put on a little Garifuna outfit. I mean, and I'm 44. So imagine, I've been raised as a Garifuna for 44 years. My mom was raised as a Garifuna for 70 years. You know what I'm saying? Your mom was raised as a Garifuna. In Nicaragua, they talking about probably not even 30 years during the culture, in which even when you hear the drumming, it's still not up to the way Belizeans do the drumming, or Guatemalans do the drumming, or Hondurans do the drumming. They still, even like when they sing some of the songs, it sounds like they still learning the songs. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, the government is giving them a lot, but the only ones that could share their culture with them is Garifunas like them, like us, the ones that was born and raised with the Garifuna culture from a long time ago. They still in the process of learning, because the Orinoco, fíjate, Hainuro allá no Garifuna, Hamo, que Wanyuro allá no Garifuna Moama. You understand what I'm saying? So yeah, the government could give them a lot, but at the end of the day, us as Garifuna brothers and sisters could give them a lot more than the government will never give them. The government cannot give them back their culture. But we could help them get their culture back. You know? That's how I feel. I don't know if you share my thoughts.
No, that's fine. That's fine. Because this is the person that's having this debate about the nation.
Oh yeah, I think I spoke to I think that's brother Khalid. I forgot his name he's from California. I forgot his name. But in order to do Garifuna how you call it? Nation, we have to first start with trying to unite. Right now, most of us represent countries, and then inside of those countries, no. But I said most of us. I didn't say all of us. Most of us represent countries, and then inside those countries, we represent towns. You understand what I'm saying? So in order for us to actually try to see ourselves as a nation, we have to see ourselves as Garifuna first, and detach ourselves from representing countries or towns. We have to represent us as a culture, as one. That's how I think. So, and that's gonna be really hard, because most of us are molded to be like, okay, I'm from this town, I'm from this country. Yeah, we are from those countries, and yes, we are from those towns, but at the end of the day, we still got Easterners, because how we got to different parts of Central America. Why, how? Because there was another Garifuna there that probably gave us the opportunity to come and stay there with them as they build that community. Because that's how we got around, trying to look for something better. And then if you look at it, we all have something in common. All Garifunas live on the coast of each of those countries. All of them. We live on the coast of Honduras, we live on the coast of Honduras. The Nicaragua, the people from Nicaragua to the people from Belize. Todos nosotros estamos a la orilla del mar. All of us. We have all that in common, because as we migrated to other parts, we stay like so we have a lot of things in common. Guaguayano Lita Garifuna Luma Balistic. Just because they have a different accent, or you could speak Garifuna to somebody from Guatemala, just because they got a different accent, and the Hondurans, they got a different accent, but at the end of the day, we all Garifuna, and we all, dance to the same drum. The caracol is still vibrating in our blood when we hear that. And that was what our ancestors used to use us to come to the a traer los pescados a la orilla del mar. So we still relate to a lot of things, even though we are in different countries. But at the end of the day, we still Garifuna. So It's like
No,
it's easy
like
for
I was
me.
taught to be, I was taught to be Garifuna first, and then everything. Like every time we went to the US, 85 to 97, we went straight from the airport in San Pedro to Cueva and Golosito. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
And we never stopped in San Pedro to pick up groceries and to go by and say, and then we went straight to work.
You're breaking up.
But
It's breaking up. I can hear you.
so,
Ahora acabo
yeah, different culture per se. I think I'm more different. Can you hear me?
the connection.
If it sounds like the signal is bad.
Yeah, connection is bad. But anyway,
Like I
so
hear an
let me
echo.
go. Like I said, it's a little easier for me to relate because I have family from Honduras that I relate with and I hang out with and I travel to Honduras. I have family in Guatemala, which I grew up with, and I have family in Belize, which is in Barranco. So I could relate to like those countries. And at the end of the day, we still got Garifuna. And I went to Nicaragua, and I felt like I was in a buga with one when I was growing up as a little girl. So at the end of the day, what the Garifuna, Teresa na lagira Garifuna lile aba wagia. Turo yaba lida mabugo mabanya winga.
Okay, there we go. Say that later.
Okay. I don't know how you doing. Oh, plugging.
Yeah, I think you gotta, if you want to disconnect, you can just hit that X on the upper right of your screen. You should have an X there on your
I
screen.
don't have it. I got it. Oh, Jesús. Que es la nueva tecnología.
Yeah, I mean, what Esley says, I mean, that's something that I've been saying for since I started doing this thing. I mean, Aurabuni, Amurununi. I mean, we shouldn't look at it as Guatemala. We all Garifuna. And we struggle. We have a different struggle in each country, but the common denominator is that we have the same culture throughout these different countries. I mean, it makes no sense for us to be xenophobic or the like towards each other. It just makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. Again, we have different struggles in these different countries. I mean, Nicaragua is the most stablest. I mean, there aren't, you're not being killed for being Garifuna in Nicaragua like what's happening in Honduras. And, they don't have issues with land like we have in Honduras. And to a small degree in Belize as well. But, I mean, I'm just interested in how we live in all these different societies, and there's a conversation of going around the community that we should form a Garifuna nation, and it's been ongoing. It's been ongoing, and it's not a bad idea. It's not something. It's something that we should definitely consider of supporting. But I want to finish talking to Vernon. Not sure if he's still available. Let's look at here. Let me try to reach Vernon again. I'm gonna close this episode of My Big Gallego. I hope you guys have enjoyed the chat, the conversation with our brother from Nicaragua. I mean, he gave me a lot of insight of what to expect when I about riding in a speedboat. No, I can't swim. I'm not gonna lie. Vernon,
Yes, sir.
a couple of questions before I let you go. Have you visited Honduras
or any other Garifuna community in Central America? Have you been to St. Vincent, Irume?
No, no.
Okay.
I have the opportunity a few years ago was to know Dangriga. But
Okay.
my trip I interesting because I passed through Honduras, we passed to Puerto Barrios. We go to Livingston, Labuga, in Apanga. That trip was great. I love it. From Labuga, we take another panga to Punta Gorda, Belize.
Right.
And from Punta Gorda, we take a bus to Dangriga, and that was the point. That was the final point of our trip was to reach. No? We went to a meeting about Garifuna issue, Garifuna project. That was Kenzie, Grega, and I. We with the with one of these Garifuna organization. I don't remember the name. But finally, the idea was this trip was to share experience and giving some proposal what we would like to happen in our country. Yeah, about Garifuna issue, Garifuna project. Yeah. And we was talking about getting back to the ground, agriculture. That we need food to eat, to survive,
Right.
and the promotion of tourism, promote tourism in our community. Not taking out the other part of the culture like the music, the dance, and the food. Because if you want to promote culture, you need to
Right.
keep the food active. You need to keep the music and the dance active. You need to the history and so far. Yeah. And I love Dangriga, man. I like Dangriga. And I love Labuga too also. Yeah.
You know you have family in Honduras too. There's a huge Ramos family in Rio Tinto.
Mm,
It's a Garifuna town close to San Pedro, I believe, in Honduras.
mm.
There's a lot of Ramos there. Do you know your relation? Are you related to TV Ramos?
TV Ramos.
Yes. Do you know your relation
No,
to him?
no.
Okay.
Who I just chat many with Mr. Washington Ramos. You know him?
What you mean Wellington Ramos?
Okay,
Yeah,
the Wellington
Wellington
Ramos.
Ramos. Okay.
Yeah, we
Okay.
just chat a lot, Wellington Ramos. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I'm gonna go through because there's a lot of persons that have been viewing this and they have some questions. So I'm gonna scroll down to see if they have any questions or comments for you. So
Yeah,
let
all
me
right.
just,
Okay.
I should do it from my laptop. Just bear with me for a second. Let me just go to this. So I thank you guys for watching and sharing this video. Make sure you share this video because that's important. We want to continue the conversation. I mean, I've been speaking with brothers and sisters from Uruguay, from Belize, and of course Honduras. Just talking about our experience of where we're at and how we're involved in the community. Okay, so let me scroll down through the comments. So Marshall Point is a Garifuna community. How close are the five communities with each other? Are they relatively close to
Very
each
close.
other, the Garifuna communities in Nicaragua?
Yeah, very close, very close. Very close.
And
Very
only
close.
one community has the Garifuna language class.
Yeah, Orinoco. In Orinoco.
Okay. Is Orinoco the biggest out of the five communities?
Yeah, Orinoco is the biggest. The biggest.
Okay.
Many of many of those the people from the other community have immigrate to the city, you know, immigrate to other town, looking for a job as I mentioned before, an opportunity. Yeah.
I mean, you say that. I don't understand how that works in a socialist
economy. Because when I was in Cuba, they told me there's guys that work 15, 16 hours a day. Is that how it is in Nicaragua? And they have to pay
No, we
tax to the government. And how exactly is the work schedule in Nicaragua,
the
and
work
how does
is
it
is
work?
8 hours. 8 hours. Eight
8 hours.
hours you work in Nicaragua. Yeah.
Okay.
If you pass over 8 hours, you have to pay overtime. Yeah. So it's not so much socialist, but that is the saying, a socialist government, not so much socialist like Cuba. We have we are more free in Nicaragua to when you, and we have a lot of right around us, you know.
Okay.
So yeah.
And we got Sister Luz Solis. I believe she sent you the Garifuna book.
Yeah, I have a
She wants
Garifuna
to
book.
know how you like it. Did you find
Yeah,
it?
I love it.
What's your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I love it. And I would like to make much of that book, but you know, I'm not in Nicaragua, you know, and
Okay.
my luggage was so heavy, so I can't bring much thing with me. So, but I love the book. I love it. I love it. I even use it once in my classroom, you know, because I used to work as a into a bilingual school, and so and I used to give one class on the autonomy, you know. Autonomy have to do
Okay.
with the issue of the Caribbean coast of Nicaragua. So I was teaching the kids them, for example, the part of your head, your ears, your nose, your mouth, colors in Garifunas, kitchen, what we call utensilio de cocinas, the name as animals and things like that in Garifunas.
Okay.
And those students are not Garifunas. You know, the
Hmm.
majority are mestizo, Creole, and maybe one or two was Garifuna in that. So I really do and make much of this book. Very interesting. Yeah, I love it.
Okay.
Yeah, but I have it there because you're going to use someday again. I will be back Nicaragua soon. God's will me life. Yeah.
I mean, I'm looking at the names of the communities. Orinoco, Orinoco is like originally where the Arawak and the Carib
Yeah.
Amerindians originated from.
Yeah, I
And
know
you
that
guys
history.
have that name. You name that as one of the communities, which I find amazing.
Yeah. John Sambola was who put that name in remembrance
Okay.
of the ancestor, you know. Yeah. Where the part of our descendant come from Rio Orinoco. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I believe my cousin from Sangrelaya could trace his lineage to John Sambula.
Mm.
Because for us, the A becomes the O becomes an A. So it's actually Sambula. There's a lot of
Yeah,
Sambulas in
Sambola.
Honduras.
Sambola. Yeah.
And
The
that
problem is that
name, from what I understand, is traced to Garifuna chief in St.
yeah,
Vincent.
Saint Vincent, correct. The Sambola, the writing of Sambola that was registered here in Nicaragua. Cause them hear the word Sambola, so they write it like Sambola. You understand? But it's the Sambola from Nicaragua and the Sambola from Honduras in the same line. Same set of
Right.
people. The only thing that right different is the name. Yeah. That is the only thing right different. The name, the letters, the words. Yeah, but it's the same Sambola. Yeah. No different of that.
Yeah, I was amazed for you to say that there's a brother that has that last name Ariola there. Are there any Blancos in
Mm,
one of the Garifuna
no, that
communities?
no.
Could you give us a
I
list of the surnames, the last names of the community over there, the popular
okay.
ones?
Yeah, yeah. You have the Sambola. You have the Estrada, the Colindres, the Solis. You
Solis.
have the yeah. You have the Arana. Crisanto, Alvarez, Goff, several. There's some others. I will get
Okay.
them to you. Yeah, there's
Okay.
some others.
Good. Interesting, because I have a book by Crisanto. Where is
Yeah.
that book? I just got it today at the well, last week at the Garifuna Museum. I don't know if this is his last name, but his name is Armando Crisanto Melendez. I'm not if it's his surname or middle name, but he is the person that's in charge of the National Folkloric Band or group of Honduras,
Yeah.
the National Dance for
Yeah.
Folkloric. I don't know if you heard of them. They call them Afro.
Sorry?
Are you aware of who Afro is? The National Folkloric Dance
No, no,
Company
no,
of
no.
Honduras? You're not
No, I
aware?
don't
Okay,
know.
I gotta send you some videos.
Yeah. Okay.
I have to send you some
I don't know.
videos of
Mm.
interesting. Yeah, and he also wrote a book, Armando Crisanto, who is the band leader of the group of Afro. He wrote this book, Adeha Sisira Guerrerum Agumburigu Garino, El enojo de las sonajas palabras del ancestro. So I've been reading in this book because I'm just trying to collect all the Garifuna books that I could find. You know,
Yeah.
because I'm building like a little library for myself. I spent a lot of time at the Center for Black Research in Harlem.
Yeah.
There I have access to close to 800 Garifuna books. And I've just been reading these things ever since I was in college, since 97. I've been, reading little by little all these books that were written about us. I mean, and I was moderating this forum yesterday, and one of the persons in the forum said that we have to write books from our perspective, which is something that I've been pushing for a while now, the writing. I did publish some articles, well, one article, but I plan to do more of that. Do you guys have a library? Is there a library in Orinoco that you have access
Uh,
to books about the Garifuna community?
the school had a small library, but
Okay,
we have a incident maybe a year ago. We have a small incident where somebody with a bad mind, bad behavior, burned part of the
right.
library. You
Oh
understand?
my God,
Yeah,
that's
I
the
don't
tragedy.
know. I don't know which book was into that library, you know. But
Okay,
the school library was being burned by somebody. I don't know. Understand?
interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean that would be something that us from over here will have to do. We have to send you guys books.
yeah, yeah. We
Um,
need some books.
okay,
We need some books. Me myself, I trying to make some collection of Garifuna books also. And
right.
Garifuna materials. I even have my own Garifuna library, small, little by little. I went collecting books, and dictionary, and things like that about Garifuna culture, folletos and stuff like that. Yeah,
Okay. All right.
yeah,
You need these are the three integral books that you need to have if you're a lover of history. I'm assuming you know all this historical data. These three books you would find very informative, and you need them in your library. The first one would be A Nation Across Borders by Dr. Joseph Palacio.
mm,
That's one book. The second would be Black Carib Wars by Chris Taylor.
mm.
And the third book would be Sojourners of the Caribbean by Nancy Gonzalez. Those
Yeah,
three books there just tells our history
yeah,
from the standpoint, from the data. I mean, the three persons that I just mentioned to you, they spent time in the British archives, and they combed through this information. Nancy Gonzalez, I know, spent time in Guatemala and in Honduras, I believe. And Dr. Palacio, he's from Barranco, Belize. He's an anthropologist. That's where I first read that Juan Sambula was the one that established the Garifuna community in Nicaragua. He also has a section there that talks about who established the Garifuna communities in Central America as well. So those 3 books you guys need over there. I mean, I'm gonna see while I'm here. I'm gonna talk with some persons here from the museum to see how we could get those down to you guys. Should we do that through our organic? What's the name of the organization again? Or
Organic.
I got it.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, I think Izzy Grega is a friend of mine on here, so I'm gonna have a talk with her and how we could let that happen. But anyways, Vernon, let me let you go. Any closing words for the community?
Sorry?
Any closing words for the community that you'd like to share with us? I know you have a band. How could the band see your videos and you guys perform? Do you guys have any videos, a website, a fan page, etc.?
Yeah, I have a page what name Grupo Garifuna Ruguma on Facebook.
Ruguma. Okay.
Yeah, Grupo Garifuna Ruguma. I have some of my video. I have some of my old video and some pictures and a lot of things that I'm recollecting to put up on my fan page. Grupo Garifuna Ruguma.
Okay.
Yeah, on Facebook.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna share that right now in the group or in this chat.
Yeah.
But yeah, Vernon, thanks for taking the time to talking with me. I really appreciate it. I mean, you taught me a lot about how it is in Nicaragua. I have like a better idea now when I do visit.
Yeah.
I'm gonna need to learn how to swim. But I'm gonna make it over there. I look forward to
what I would like to say that
Nicaragua.
Yeah, I would like to say something.
Yeah, go ahead.
I would really like to call out to Ali Garinago, wherever we are, that Nicaragua, we need you all. We need you all to help supporting in different cultural activities. You know, we need like training around the language. We need training about identity, motivation, and so forth, because our youth are separate. Spirit of Garifuna culture have to maintain during the whole year. You know? The other stuff of this that our young girls them are leaving the schools, are leaving the secondary school. There are no much of them assisting to the university. So we have to look some kind of a method and some kind of a strategy to encourage them back to the school, because this is causing a lot of problem in our communities. You know, a lot of problems in our community because many of them are involving themselves in a lot of drinking, the using of drugs, and etc. 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 So you all that have the support, the biggest strength, maybe economically or knowledge about certain things, we need you all to support organic a lot. You know, give assistance to organic. The organic could continue doing the best around Garifuna issue in Nicaragua.
Okay. Okay, and that's the issues that you outlined are common in the Garifuna community in Belize, Honduras, Guatemala, and St. Vincent as well. So this is the commonality, and which I was curious because I thought it would be some difference in a socialist system, but I see
irrespective of like the economic and the political or governmental system, we still have the same issues, which makes sense for us to become a nation.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the whole reason why, you know, I drive the conversation so that we could the long term goal is to become a nation as a community in Central America, because only then we're gonna stop having these issues. Because there's certain things. Do you understand the spirituality to any point? Do you
Yeah.
understand what Ubulendo means, or have these terms like Dugu or Chugu? Have you heard those terms before?
Yes. When I
Okay,
was small, I remember we had one of the largest dugu or walagayo in Orinoco. You know,
okay.
so
Walagayu.
walagayo, we call it walagayo
Okay,
in
okay,
Orinoco. You know, so all those terms, chugu, dugu, and spirituality, we manage a lot around that.
okay,
Yeah. Ancestral belief, a lot of those stuff. There is one of the stuff that we still manage in Nicaragua. You know, those spiritualities. You know, among
okay,
our people in Nicaragua. Although we are not practicing the Dogo anymore in Nicaragua because that have the explanation, you know why. But
right,
we still could rescue it back in Orinoco. Yeah.
okay. All
Yeah.
right. So you guys heard that. The persons that are viewing, please share this video. The brother just mentioned what is needed, and I'm about to, after we get off from Vernon, what I usually do is I post this video online so other persons could share it on the platforms that they feel comfortable on, because I know that a lot of people do not feel comfortable being on Facebook. So I put it on YouTube so people could text it to each other, and you
Mm.
know, they could do whatever with it. I mean, because this is very educational. Like the educational part for us is very crucial. I mean, us now, we have to understand who we are as a people, as an ethnic group, through our history. That's the first part.
Sure.
And
Exactly.
then learning the language, because there's certain Garifuna words that the Spanish and the English language cannot describe. So the language is very important. So the historical understanding and the language go hand in hand.
Correctly.
So we're gonna work on that. Let me just read some of the comments. Um, this is Easy, Easy Sambola. Mabrigo Easy. Agree, Brother Vernon. We need support, but please cooperate and don't charge us our eyes when you are coming. I personally talked with a few people, and it's crazy how much money they are asking for. So I think she's
Mm.
referring to your group. And Brother Aurabuni Amurununi, which is our cultural tenant, Vernon. We have a cultural tenant that all Garifuna
Yeah.
people follow, irrespective of where they are. Aurabuni Amurununi means I for you and you for me, meaning that we're a
Yeah.
community. We're one community. And this is based on our spirituality, because remember, we had that experience in St. Vincent, and we all relied on each other to stay alive, you know? So
Yeah.
let me read the other comments. Juan Morales, how about Star Speak Garifuna Blase? Okay, I think he meant to say that we need to start speaking. Luti wadume alida Garifuna. Um, Sereme Nitilus. So Nina Martinez said, please post those 3 books titles at the end if possible. Okay, I'll definitely do that, Nina. But the 3 books that's important for every Garifuna to read or to have in their library is Black Carib Wars by Chris Taylor, Sojourners of the Caribbean by Nancy Gonzalez, and A Nation Across Borders with Dr. Joseph Palacio. I just posted the fan page of the Ruguma group.
that Vernon is a part of. We get Garifuna from Arana, Alvarez, and Northwest. Okay, there's a Arana. There's a lot of Aranas in Honduras as well. Vernon just said they are in Nicaragua, and I know there's Arana in Belize. So Izzy said, I heard the Estrada is the same Pitillo. We have Morales, Davis, Melendez, Martin. Yes, Mr. Crisanto has been here before. I met him once in Honduras. Okay. Crisanto, they travel a lot. This group travels a lot. Pitillo, it's funny that you spell it like that, Izzy, because Pitillo is actually Petillo. Petillo. I believe is the same family. So yeah, Vernon, I mean, we have a lot of persons that's rediscovering the culture, you know, here in the United States, and they want to get more attached to it. We have these DNA databases like 23andMe and AfricanAncestry.com, and this Ancestry.com, there's people that are retracing their family lineage by using these services. And that lineage leads them to us, the Garifuna, along with the African side, which I mentioned before, Cameroon, Congo, and Sub-Saharan Africa. Those percentage of those three regions is very high for us in when we take these DNA tests.
Yeah.
So Florencia Arana said, I love to hear this from you, Ramos. Love it. Thank you, Sister Florencia. Thank you for the comment.
Yeah.
And Izzy said, Vernon, I love you. We love you
Me
too, Izzy.
too.
We gotta have a conversation. But yeah, Vernon, I mean, I have to say this. Thank you for your time, for talking with us. It's been very educational. And keep up the good work. All right, Vernon.
Always.
So Sereme, I'm gonna share this on YouTube, and I'm gonna tag you on it so other
Okay.
persons could see it on your timeline and make their comments, because this conversation has to be ongoing. I believe in education. It's a lifelong thing, and we always gotta learn. We have things to learn every day. I mean, every day is like a learning experience for me. So that's what I want to
Correctly.
promote through these conversations. But Sereme, Widula Haniveyu, I Wadume again.
Yeah.
All right.
Sereme, man.
Okay, Nibo.
Abaisiani.
We need a
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Angel Fernandez, source. The source. I'm trying to understand your question, big bro. The source for what? Thank you, Mr. Nunez. We have to continue the conversation. We definitely have to continue the conversation. Let me just reply back to this email. But yeah, the conversation has to be continuous. And thank you to Esley. Sereme Esley Lo Badume Hawama. With your experience in Guatemala, I didn't know that Guatemala, in Guatemala, that the Garifuna were written into the Constitution, and their national ID card that has the name of the ethnic group. I didn't know that. That's something that I was totally unaware of, and I totally want to visit Guatemala as well. As I mentioned before, I have family over there. One of the singers of the Garifuna Umalali group, the Umalali group, her name is I forget her first name, but her voice is melodic. I mean, that's what drew me. That's my experience of learning. My first experience of learning that they were Blancos in Guatemala. So Eddie, what's up, Eddie? Shouts out to you. As a Garifuna myself, born and raised in New York City, I carefully observed this level of negativity gradually increase for the past few couple of years or so within our community here, within the metropolitan area. The negativity, for example, gossiping, hypocrisy, etc. I speak of has become so pervasive and deeply entrenched within our community that it has created a tension that is currently omnipresent between our people. This is not to say it's such with all our brothers and sisters inside and outside of the New York City, but it is a problem that seriously affects our need to unify as a nation, moving forward as a collective force to be reckoned with amongst other cultures and nations. Well, see, we got to understand how politics work, Eddie. Politics works by numbers. And I don't think we have that level of political education as a community yet. We're currently gaining that. We're not in New York City. We're not necessarily that civically engaged as a community. I can say that because I have personal experience. I ran a campaign. I was a campaign manager for a sister that was running for city council a couple of years ago, and we had a lot of issues trying to get the community to understand why it's important to be civically engaged. So that's just the educational issue. In regards to the hypocrisy, I mean, and the ignorance and everything that falls under that, I mean, it's an educational thing. It's an educational thing, brother. I mean, we can't let that discourage us from coming into the community because a lot of persons do not engage in the community because of that. Because of that same reason, you know. But again, we're on this process. This is a process for us. Like, this whole notion of a nation is new to a lot of people. They don't see the significance of it. In order for us to maintain our culture, we have to build a nation. In order to keep everything intact and engage in politics and everything that has to do with our culture, building a nation will help strengthen that. Because then, once we do have a nation, we could make deals that benefit strictly Garifuna people. I forgot to ask it to Sister Esley, but I wanted to know how the political landscape is in La Boga. You know, are Garifuna people getting resources that they need from the government? Are they pressuring them? Because I could tell you in Honduras right now, we have 12 Congress people. We have several elected officials that are Garifuna, and I don't necessarily see them getting the necessary resources to the community, to the Garifuna community. Belize has Garifuna persons as elected officials, and I'm not sure too familiar with how that landscape is like and whether they are getting resources to the Garifuna communities in Belize. We know that there's 10 communities. I mean, do these communities have the basics, running water, you know, electricity, a health system? Do we have that? Because I know in Honduras we don't have that. I mean, Dr. Luther had to build his own hospital to serve the community of Siriboya, which furnished health care for millions of people. So when we have a nation, we will build these different components that will benefit us. Because at the present moment, I mean, we're fleeing Honduras and Guatemala and Belize because we don't have these basic systems. But anyway, family, that's my time right now. I gotta get some things done over here and visit a couple of persons while I'm still here in LA. Thank you for sharing the video. Thank you for your time. And keep on commenting and share this video to persons who you feel will benefit. I mean, we're at the learning stage. We're still trying to piece together our history and learn our language. In my case, I believe the language is very important. That's why I have these books in which I could learn how to converse in language better, in the Garifuna language better. I want to be more fluent than I am now. I mean, it's an ongoing process. But again, if you see me, adume ama no lida Garifuna, busete na ndume hani Garifuna buido, que Ruben Reyes, que Doctor, que Surusia, Ronnie Castillo, Luther Harry, que Jorge Bernardes, que Mutuha Hagia, na fendo yung Garifuna ham, dume hong Garifuna buido. So anyways, family, buiti rabareyu, and continue with the comments and share this video. Pastekom sereme.